festival. You are listening to SGFR, podcast radio for the festival. Now broadcasting highlights and top picks, your tasty, tantalizing tease for this coming year.
Hi, Craig.
I'd like Craig. He doesn't say much, but he sure knows how to listen.
He's part of the team.
He is. I'm very, very proud he's one of us. Good morning, afternoon, evening, or middle of the night, dear listener, for whatever time it is you've tuned in. It is a delight to have you back with us. This particular episode, we'll be talking with Dave, who I've met from going to the Thursday night board game sessions. David, thank you very much for joining us. Now, sometimes, David, I get told off for not letting other people know who's actually in the interview suite with us. We've got James and Laura, my wonderful, amazing co-hosts, who I'm not worthy to be with, but, for
Hello.
Correct.
For £3 an hour, they've decided to join us. And we also have Rob in the room with us as well, who we'll be interviewing later.
Well,
Dave, now, one of the things I really know you for is your passion for co-op games.
Yeah, so I've been into board games for a while now. So most recently got back into it about 2015-ish, something like that. But I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of the time I kind of like co-op games. There's quite a few of them I played, and it's what I normally bring along to meetups when I come to them. So Thursdays or Sundays. So yeah, so it's a good time.
now we're talking. Co-op games on my jam, David.
Okay.
Listen, now finally we've got a guest on that I can relate to. Yes.
There you go. That's good.
David, please. What are your favourite co-op games?
I think my favourite is one called Ghost Stories,
Oh,
which is quite a well-known, slightly punishing one.
I've not heard
But
of
it's
this.
really good.
But please tell me more.
It's really good fun. Yeah, so you're like a group of Taoist monks protecting a village from an incarnation, and there's lots of ways you can lose, and sometimes you do, but when you don't, it's amazing. And we had a game where we played it recently, where basically you roll dice to attack these ghosts, and there were 3 of us, and we all rolled 1 of a dice each.
Yeah.
In the last turn, and we did it just on the last turn before we were going to lose. So it was pretty amazing. It came out in 2008 originally, that game. So yeah, it's great. It's a great little game by Anton Bowser, who did Hanabi and other games as well. So
I love Hanabi.
yeah, Hanabi's really nice. Yeah, I know some people who really don't like it, but the people who do,
I'm one of those.
yeah.
I think a lot of times the people who don't like it have played it online with strangers, and the online stranger Hanabi community is very toxic and judgmental.
Can someone explain to me what Hanabi is?
Yeah, so it's a game where it's a cooperative game where you have cards and they're in different colours, so like fireworks, and they go 1 through 5, and there's some multiples. You have the cards facing away from you, and then you're giving people clues so you can try and do the best fireworks display possible. So ideally you have 5 runs of cards which go 1 through 5 and there's no problems. The thing with it is you give people clues about what they have in their hand. So like these cards are 1s, these are red, this is a 5, and if you don't place them correctly, you can run out of fuses, which is the timer on the game. And I've played games where people love it. I've played games where people really don't like the memory aspect of it, because you're trying to remember what someone's told you, and sometimes you give them 5 clues and you go, oh, what did someone say?
So because
But I find it's really enjoyable. It's a great little game. Yeah.
I think that you're right there. There's 2 different aspects to it, because there's the memory aspect and there's the logic aspect. So I actually got a very kind person from the festival and the board game meetups to print me a 3D printed version of like a Hanabi tracker, so you can completely obliterate that memory aspect of it, and it makes it so much easier to play with people who don't want that memory aspect but are enjoying the logic. So it's definitely a multiple different sort of game.
Oh, cool! I might enjoy it more.
I'll bring it sometime.
Bring it to the festival. Bring it to the camp out. David, are you coming to the camp out? I've seen you at the festival from time to time, though we've not actually had a chance to play a game. We must amend that. Are you managing to come to the camp out this year?
don't think so. Camping's not really my thing, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
it sounds amazing, though. I'm sure I've heard really good things about the event and from people who've been before. But
Oh, we'll stand
yeah.
around looking really sad.
Yeah.
What is that pirate game that I actually got a copy of it?
That's really fun. Yeah. Yeah. It's called Dead Men Tell No Tales.
That's it. Where you
Yeah.
co-op as pirates to raid a ship that is burning and slowly sinking around you.
Yeah, that also has deckhands on it and skeletons. Yeah. And there's an expansion where a kraken turns up as well.
Oh,
So,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of
One,
nice chaos. Yeah, I do enjoy that game.
one of the things I like about that is the Dread Pirate Roberts rule.
Oh, okay. There's different ones. There's a pirate. You can have someone called Captain.
Wait. No, you can't just introduce a random rule and then stay quiet about it, Andy, and we just have to
Yeah.
guess what the hell you're on about. Explain your Dread Pirate Roberts rule before we move on.
Well
I'm
caught,
sorry.
James.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get angry, but you have to learn, Andy,
What do I have to learn, James? What do I have to learn?
how to have a normal conversation.
A bit late for that now.
I don't know how to do normal conversations. That is why you are here. That's your purpose.
You can't make a reference to my favourite film, The Princess Bride, and then go quiet and not explain it.
Well, okay. To be fair to me, I was wondering if David, you remember that rule and wanted to jump in on that story. Otherwise, I would tell it.
Trying to remember. I probably know it, but I don't remember it by that name.
It's this wonderful.
I don't,
Yes, carry on.
Yeah, I think you can come back if your pirate's defeated. As a
Absolutely
different pirate.
right. If you
Is that the
accidentally
one?
get blown up or fall off or die, then you come back as another pirate. It's a nice little device.
Yeah, so I played it once with a friend, and we were one turn off of winning.
Yeah.
And he had the last treasure chest. You have to get a certain number off the ship, and then just before that happened, the room he was in blew up.
Yes.
Which was unfortunate, but I found it quite amusing. But it was it's a really good little game though. It's a bit like it's got some elements of like Pandemic in some ways, where there's deckhands on the ship, and you've got fires, and it can cascade, and rooms can blow up. And I've seen 5 rooms blow up in one turn, which is quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other one I like, there's one called Subterra 2, which is pretty amazing.
Oh, I played that recently.
That's really good. It's like I really like it. I've played it a lot, and it plays up to 6. And it's like Indiana Jones. You're trying to get in, get a relic, and get out. But as soon as you get the relic, lava starts chasing you. And the last time we played it, there was only one person left.
Yeah.
And then the lava just reached them, but we managed to get the relic out.
Justin.
But that's a really, really fun game. It doesn't actually get mentioned that much, but I prefer it a lot to the first Subterra.
Laura, as our kind of wonderful go-to person for games that are in the Strange Games Festival library, available for everybody to play who come to the festival and the camp out, what sort of proportion are co-op games in there?
Oh, now that's a question. So I at some point I was going to tag all the library games with those various tags, so that I could very quickly give you those answers. Bear with me one moment, and I will glance the list.
Well, whilst you do that, David, can I come back to you then?
Yeah.
You mentioned Pandemic as one of the kind of co-op games, and
Yeah.
that
I have played this one.
Yeah.
that, as I understand, has produced a lot of variants. I played Pandemic, the Cthulhu version, just the other night.
I like that one the most, actually.
Yeah,
That's really nice. I like the theme more than base Pandemic, but yeah, that's a really nice game, and having the rolls and the insanity bits as well.
I do like a game where you can go insane.
Yeah, yeah, you get like Shoggoth turning up, and yeah.
Yeah, well remembered. Shoggoth is absolutely right. And we played one game and we made it 2.25 rounds before we lost.
Oh.
And we lost abysmally. It was terrible.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was sheer carnage. We really, really kind of messed that one up badly, and the entire world went mad. How well have you done on it?
I think we won. Last time I played it, I remember it was like winter. It was kind of snowing outside. We were at Dice Saloon.
Yeah.
And I think we just about managed to win in the end. It does get a bit hairy at some points where it's like, oh, can we actually do this? But I really like the theme in that one, actually. It's just so nice, and the way the whole game looks and the art on everything is just so good. Yeah, that's a really fun game.
If If I may, because I feel like we've skimmed over some basics purely because we assume that everyone listening to this is an enormous board game fanatic. But could you just talk us through like what the main difference between co-op and regular gamers, even though it may seem obvious? And more importantly, David, why you apparently, according to Andy's accusations, much prefer them to other games?
Yeah, so a cooperative game is where you're playing against the game, and they can also sometimes be played solo as well. But you can, so it's normally like 2 or more players playing against the game. So when you do that, you normally have what they call action points. We can do between 2 and 4 things on a turn. And then you're doing your actions, and then the game responds in some way. So it might reveal a card, or it might do something. So there's like Pandemic, Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert are very popular ones that are very well known. So there's games like that, and then there's also co-op games which are like limited communication, like Hanabi, for example. And there's some other ones as well, like Tranquility, and some different ones like that, where you can't tell other people what's in your hand. And then beyond that, there are cooperative trick-taking games like The Crew, and then most recently Lord of the Rings one. So you're kind of doing things against the game and how the game responds to you. And normally there's a few loss conditions. So like in Ghost Stories, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say, I really like how you describe it as playing against the game, as opposed to when you say co-op. I would have described it as playing with all of the players rather than against all of the players.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing with it compared to like a regular a competitive game. Like in a competitive game, you're all trying to get the most points or whatever it might be, and some of those games are longer and some of them are shorter. But then with a co-op game, you're playing with other people, and I think like the reason.
Sorry, I was going to say, and of course, there are hybrids as well, where you're playing with people, but you also might have a hidden agenda, or somebody might become a traitor at some point, or there's sort of semi-co-op versions too, which are really interesting.
Your Battlestar Galactica, things like that.
Yeah, I tend to avoid those, but yeah,
I do as well, David.
they're not my thing. I know some people love it, but I played a 4-hour game, Battlestar Galactica once, which didn't particularly like. But
I avoid them too, David. I don't know if it's for the same reason, because I have enormous trust issues, and I like having friends, not enemies. So I tend to much more enjoy co-op games, because then it feels like we are a team and we'll win or lose this game together.
There are still those where you are playing to win as a team, but you might just get an extra bonus point if if you complete your personal mission as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a traitor mechanic.
Yeah, Dead of Winter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, you lose if everyone doesn't do their thing, but yeah. But I find it's really fun personally, like playing those type of cooperative games. I think it's because the other side of it, you have competitive games, and there's lots of different ones, but the most popular ones perhaps Euro games or maybe more abstract games. And I think those are fun, but I mean, you can also play a 3 to 4 hour game where you're kind of doing your own thing, focusing on your own efficiency puzzle, which can be very enjoyable in itself. But I kind of prefer more of a cooperative thing. And I've just had some really fun moments playing them, like getting to that last turn, everyone high-fiving because you've beaten the game, feeling like the game is. I've had people say, "How is this balanced? How are you meant to win?" And then by the end, it's like, "Wow!"
I love those ones where it's so perfectly balanced that you win on a knife edge, and it feels really satisfying because you think, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's Ghost Stories.
I had that exact moment with Time Stories.
Oh right, yeah.
Which are good games, but you can only really play them once. So actually, if you have them, I don't know if we have them at Strange.
They're in the library.
It's perfect to play there because then you don't have to fork out like 40 odd quid just to play a game once. But it is like a kind of quite puzzly one, and there's like a combat element as well. And yeah, me and my friend did the kind of fantasy-esque style one, and it literally got to the last boss, the last dice roll, and it was, if I make this dice, then we win, and if I fail, then we die. And I think we both privately said to each other, "Yeah, if we do die, let's just not bother. Let's just not bother going back and playing again. we just lost." Okay.
And there's so many of these games as well. There's I played through the whole Arkham Horror Living card game up to a certain point with a friend, and that was amazing. So 2-player collectible card game thing where you play against the game. That was really fun. I've played a lot of Fuse, which is like a real-time one where you're going against the clock, and I've been playing that a lot the last couple of weeks. and Jaws of the Lion, which is Gloomhaven, when we're doing a 4-player campaign at the moment, and that's really good as well. So there's a lot out there, and I think there's a lot of really good ones. Some people like Spirit Island, which is a heavier one. For me, I just find you get those really fun moments, and which I wouldn't say you don't get them in other games, but in other games there's a sense of achievement when you've got a really good score, or you've done a combo, or you've played really efficiently. But it's a little different. It's a little bit of a different feel for me.
I know what you mean. It's like in the other games, it's the sense of achievement is often at the expense of someone else.
Yeah.
Whereas in a co-op one, you kind of share that joy together.
Yeah.
One that's stayed out of the conversation altogether so far, but I've always really loved since it first came out, is Just One.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. And that's
those lighter co-op ones are really fun for the
yeah.
board game meetups and great for the festival as well.
What's Just One?
Just One is a game where you have a little rack of you're on almost like a Scrabble rack. You put it in front of you when it's your turn to be the guesser. You take a card without looking at it, and it has 5 words numbered 1 to 5 on the front of it. So you choose a number at random. The other people can see what the word is, so they now have to write a 1-word clue to you on their little racks to help you to guess what the word is. And it's called Just One because it's always just one word, and your clue must always be just one word. If the people, the maximum number of players is 7. If the other people have any duplicates, they show each other while you've got your eyes shut, what they've written. If there are any duplicates, then those players have to just put their rack face down. So you only see the clues that aren't duplicates. And then you've got to guess what the word is. You have 13 cards in the game, so you're trying to score a maximum of 13 points. But if you can pass, but obviously you won't score a point. But if you get one wrong, then you have to throw away the next card as well. So you've effectively lost 2 points. So you're just really basically getting rated by the box of the game, which has a sort of scoring chart on it. But it's surprisingly good fun. How a group of people come together for the approval of a cardboard box.
I love how much though those scoring cards sound really sarcastic. Like if you read the scoring numbers in the right tone, it's like, oh, well done. Can you do it again? Every single one's just got that little tinge of.
I think it's a really nice game as well. I think because you can play it and not really regard the scoring much at all. It's like you can do it just as a very social activity.
Yeah, you don't even have to do 13 cards, do you? Yeah.
And so clover.
Yeah, I was going to say So Clover and Codenames are also great in that sort of word game co-op category.
I've been racking my brains about another co-op game. I think it's Deep Space D6 Armada, which is a game where you pool dice. You have an engineer of a spaceship who pools dice and tries to pull out numbers by randomly rolling them, and then hands these dice to other players who run certain parts of the ship. Who have limited dice. They can only run certain bits of their ship based on the numbers they have in front of them. So this kind of massive frenetic interaction as members of one ship try to place all their dice in order to get the ship to do things like move forward, backwards, fire, and jump into warp or stuff like that. Now, the co-op bit of it stops because as I talk about it, I realize it's actually more of a team game, isn't it? I don't know if anyone else knows it.
I think you might be talking about one that I've played under a different name, but I can't remember the name of that one either. It's like, I can't remember the name. But it was really great. Like there's frenetic activity on both sides of the table, with being passed dice for your little station in order to maneuver against the opposing team.
It sounds a little bit like There's a game I play called Fuse Flatline, which is similar, but real time, where you have dice and you need to do things within real time, and sometimes you each have to put a dice somewhere or individual people, and there's things to deal with. I think anything like that with dice and it's frenetic is just fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I love real time stuff. It's great.
Yeah, you introduced me to that ages ago. I remember playing that with you, David.
Oh, my favourite frenetic real-time, though, has to be Space Team. It's so ridiculous. Like, flipping over cards and fixing your ship and hoping you don't all explode.
I've only played Space Team on, like, a mobile phone.
Oh, that loses something, I think.
Yeah.
I played it. It was great because everyone is on the mobile phone all around each other, and everyone gets like instructions, but it's not necessarily for them. So everyone's just shouting at exactly the same time, telling, and other people have the different like buttons that they can push.
Yeah.
And so we just ended up getting very angry at each other,
Yeah.
shouting like nonsense things like "Pull the donkey hammer! Pull the donkey hammer!"
Yeah.
And then realizing it's you that has the donkey hammer
Whoops.
all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, a little rumor bird has told me that since you've been doing this since 2015, there's kind of 10 years of experience under your belt.
Mm.
And I have heard that you're creating a game all in your own right. May I invite you? Can I tempt you to spill the beans? Give us some lowdown. What is it that you are making?
Yeah, it's out now actually.
Oh,
It's
brilliant.
it's called Sphinx with a strange spelling, SFYNX.
Uh-huh.
I think it came out last year, I think. Yeah, and so I went to Essen and then I met the publisher. So the publisher did games such as a Nyrim. It's called Impatience Games. So he's done like mainly 1 and 2 player games, things like that. But it came out last year, yeah. So I play tested it quite a lot. So it's like,
Yeah.
so now it's all out. But yeah, it's like a solo cooperative game where you have riddle cards which have a certain pattern of icon or symbols, and it's kind of like you're in a temple. You're trying to move them around to complete riddles, and then when you do that, you gain reward cards. But at the end of every turn, there's like a timer that goes down. There's 12 turns in the game.
Yeah.
And you need to do that before that runs out. And yeah, I think it's doing okay. So yeah.
How many players at max?
It goes 1 to 4. Yeah, it's got a very nice look. They got a really good artist for it. So but yeah, it's kind of like flipping tiles, sliding tiles, moving around, trying to get things in a certain pattern, and there's different levels of difficulty in it as well.
Zatu Games describes it as kind of every 25 moons, the mysterious Sphinx opens a gateway to their sunken city, but only the adventurers able to solve 9 riddles before Klep's Sidra empties will be granted access to its vanished splendors and forgotten knowledge. Are you up to the task? That sounds exciting. How difficult? How easy?
That does. I think that's a better description than what yeah.
How easy? How
Yeah.
difficult was it to put together? What were the challenges?
So I was. Seems like ages ago now. So before lockdown and all that happened, I was working on it for about 4 years up to that point. And then during lockdown, I did lots of things online with a Discord group and online play testing.
Yeah.
And then more besides that. And then a year or two after that, I found that my publisher, he's a designer I really like, it's called Shadi Torbay.
Yeah.
He's done some games I really like, and then found out he had his own publishing company. I just sent in my sell sheet, and then it all happened from there. So it was, but yeah, it's lots of play testing, lots of updating things, lots of trying to get things to work, and accepting that things sometimes don't work with a game, and then just improving it.
We do have.
But I'm very grateful to everyone who play tested it, because that really helped with doing that, and for the publisher for what he's done with the game. So
You're right about the artwork. It has a real kind of Indiana Jones feel about it, looking at the picture online. And I invite you, our wonderful dear listener, if you are so inclined, to check it out. So Laura, have you had a chance to work out what proportion of our games available are co-op?
You see, there is a flaw in this. In that of the 500, 600 games in the library, I haven't played them all.
Oh.
So I started scanning down the list and realized that I don't know what half of these are because I just haven't had the time to do them. So yeah, I mean, I counted like 10, 20 co-op games that I know of, but I can't really give you a proportion.
Hey, Laura.
Hi.
You can say any percentage, and no one will check.
How are we going to know?
7,000%.
Okay, right. I should have. I saw this coming. I should have. I would say 32% because that's a believable percentage.
I do like a co-op game. So if you are after playing a co-op game and puzzling through someone who may or may not boost your team, find me at the camp out or the festival, and we'll get a co-op going. Or actually, find any one of us. James in particular loves a co-op game, but as he's explained, that's mostly because it's a substitute for actual friends.
I don't have any friends. Yeah,
that's quite sad.
Also, if anybody some people love categorizing things and just hanging out and, sorting. If anybody looks at the library on the website and thinks, hey, I could send Laura a list of categories, feel free, because that would really help me time.
David, what kind of category of games do you look for? Do you think is underplayed amongst the board game gamature?
I really like cooperative games, especially real-time ones, but I like a lot of games that work really well at 2. And there's some really ones that aren't that well known as well. But ideally, I like to play a game that's maybe an hour to 2 hours.
Well, David, thank you very much. It's a joy chatting with you, and it's really nice to focus in on the co-op side of all the gaming.
And I would say as well, I think the thing I really like board games, I do like that you can just get together with people who don't necessarily know them, and you can just have a really fun experience, whatever it is, and then there's a type of game for everyone.
You've been listening to SGFR, the podcast radio channel for the Strange Games Festival.
This season's hosts have been James, Laura, Andy and Craig.
And if you'd like to come on the show, message us on the festival radio channel on the Strange Games Festival Discord server.